A huge lawsuit between the National Association of Realtors and some large national real estate brokerage firms was recently settled. The settlement will affect the practice of real estate agents throughout the country. In this video, I'm going to explain what happened. Hello again, everyone. I'm attorney Robert Flesses. If this is your first time here, now would be the best time to subscribe, because when you do subscribe, you'll know where to go to get answers to your legal questions, and you'll learn about the law. Recently, the National Association of Realtors, more commonly known as the NAR, and some large national real estate brokerage firms were sued in Missouri by a group of home sellers complaining that the defendants participated in a conspiracy to promote anti-competitive practices in violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act. The plaintiffs complained that the NAR is forcing home sellers to pay a buyer agent a commission when participating in the sale of their home out of the commission that the home seller pays to the listing agent. These home sellers argued that they were effectively forced into paying buyer brokers who essentially represent their adversaries in negotiations to sell their home. They argued that a buyer agent represents the buyer and has no duty of loyalty to a home seller. Buyer agents were effectively working against the home seller. This is what triggered the lawsuit. Specifically, the plaintiff homeowners complained that the defendants were essentially forcing home sellers to pay a commission to buyer agents, and this scheme was promoted through and enforced by local MLS services acting under the direction of the NAR. The plaintiffs argued that they were required to pay an inflated commission to the selling broker in order for the listing agent to pay a high percentage of their commission to the buyer agent to induce them to show their listings. The defendants required all seller brokers to make a blanket, unilateral, and effectively non-negotiable offer of compensation to buyer brokers. The plaintiffs said that real estate brokers, as members of MLS, are required to list all their listings on MLS. Access to MLS is controlled by local associations. MLS access is conditioned upon brokers following all NAR mandated rules. The plaintiffs contend that payment of buyer broker commissions caused home sellers to pay a buyer agent a commission that was over the amount that would be charged to the buyer in a competitive marketplace, absent the NAR rules. In other words, buyers were essentially told by buyer agents that the buyer would pay nothing for their services because the buyer agent would collect their commission from the home seller. Hence, sellers were overpaying a commission to sell their home. The NAR has approximately 1.2 million members and collect hundreds of millions of dollars in dues and membership fees. Each defendant has a significant presence in the markets covered by the MLS platforms, and real estate brokerage firms have a significant presence in the markets covered by MLS platforms, and they transact a substantial amount of business. Many home sellers want their home listed on MLS because MLS exposure is very powerful. The plaintiffs argue that local real estate brokers also participated as co-conspirators and agreed to comply with the NAR imposed rules. Franchisees and corporate brokers also participated as co-conspirators in the antitrust violations and unfair practices because their executives actively participated in the management and operation of the NAR. Compared to other countries' residential brokerage services, foreign rates are substantially lower, in the range of 2 to 3%. In the U.S., the commission is typically 5 to 6%, with buyer agents getting 2.5 to 3% of the listing agent's commission. The defendants argue that software programs used by MLS platforms are used by agents to restrict searches only to those listings that pay the highest commission. MLS platforms ensure that while real estate agents can see buyer broker commission offers, home buyer and sellers cannot see such information unless the agent shows that information to their clients. Effectively, buyers and sellers did not have the ability to detect steering by buyer brokers to homes that offered a higher broker commission. Concealment of this information prevents price competition that could have benefited consumers, allowing brokers to exert upward pressure on pricing and punish fellow brokers who deviate downward on commissions. The NAR settled with the plaintiffs by agreeing to pay over $400 million in damages and revising their rules that are imposed upon MLS platforms and their commission rules. Essentially, MLS platforms will not show compensation to subagents of sellers or buyer agent compensation. The seller must approve all compensation that will be paid to agents who participate in the sale of their home. Real estate forms that agents are required to use are being amended, specifically listing contracts and buyer agent representation agreements. But here's a bigger problem that the NAR, Realtor Associations, and MLS platforms will face. The Department of Justice does not believe that the settlement goes far enough. They're currently investigating their policies and activities, which could result in another antitrust lawsuit initiated by the federal government. Nobody knows what's going to happen as a result of that investigation, but it's my opinion that local MLS platforms will see drastic changes in the future. The hold that the NAR, local real estate associations, and MLS platforms have will be disturbed for the benefit of consumers. And in my opinion, consumers may see MLS platforms open to the public, meaning that you won't need an agent to list and post your home on MLS. A home seller may be able to deal directly with MLS by paying a flat monthly fee in order to place their home directly on MLS. I'm attorney Robert Flesses. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you in my next video.